It started, in my opinion, in the second. And, we were playing well. And the challenge of, continuing to do things that you have success with, sustaining your play. And, I thought we let our foot off the gas. It's one of those things, you mess with the game messes with you. And sadly, we can't seem to learn that lesson. We saw that similar game at home versus Clippers. And apparently we have short memories because into that second quarter, we got out of character a bit. We started doing things that, went away from, how we had played in the first quarter. They had a lot of success. And I thought that changed the momentum for them. You go into half up 12, and then you start the third quarter, I think 11-2 run. All of a sudden, the momentum's gone. And then from that point on, it's, they took control of the game.
We just talked after the next game about building winning habits.
No, tonight was not one of those habits.
In a game that is such an outlier like this, how does that discard it as a one-off? Or
no, I can't, because it's happened more than once, and it's happened in smaller doses, and maybe doesn't lead to a complete shift in momentum that we saw tonight. But I've seen it too many times from a quarter or 4 or 5 minute stretch. If we're really serious about being competitive, we can't allow that to happen.
The Rockets throw a bunch of threes every night. What was the disconnect between the scouting report and what they were able to do against you guys?
A lot of them came off the dribble, one-on-one, which we know they're capable of. Woods got going. I thought, he saw one go in that was uncontested. And, I think that kind of fueled his confidence. And once he got going, it becomes an issue. He had 7 in that third, or in the second half, rather. Some of them were tough, but, the fact that we were struggling to score, and, once again, I think that led to some of the defensive lapses. But, if we don't continue to play the right way, we're not going to have a lot of success.
Some of the problems we're hearing you guys talk about, you and KCP and other kind of veterans on the defense ends, were the same ones that you were bringing up earlier in the season. Is it just the defense hasn't sunk in because you have so many new important pieces, or why do you feel like you haven't made the progress maybe otherwise might happen?
I think that's part of it. I mean, we've had a lot of moving pieces all season, but the reality is, we got to help aid in our own recovery. We got to find a way to get up to speed. To me, especially on the defensive end, that's the easier side of the ball. And some of it's just our lack of focus, attention to detail. And then you got to have that competitive fire. I mean, you just got to want it. Sometimes it's not perfect, but if you give that extra effort, good things usually happen.
Coach, you had a really strong first half. You seemed a little tired in the second half. Do you think he's still trying to adjust to that starting role?
I don't know about that. He did. He had a terrific start. He made shots early, made plays, came out with great energy. But he wasn't alone in that second half. We as a unit, as a collective, did not come out with the same approach.
All right, we're going to Chase.
Wes, what do you think made it so difficult to shut Christian Wood down once he started going? Because it seemed like, he started kind of chucking up threes and everything he was taking was going in.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough when you allow guys to get a rhythm. Once they get going, it's difficult. The fact that we allowed that to happen, that's the bigger issue. I thought our overall defense in the first half was solid. I thought, pretty mundane numbers, and we allowed them to get going early in the third, and it just snowballed. You couple with that the fact that we had difficulty scoring, and I think once that happens, it affects not only the defensive end, but it starts to affect your other offensive possessions. Because now you're pressing, you're not trusting, you're not moving the ball. I think everyone kind of thinks, I got to make a play, instead of continuing to play the right way, move the ball as we did in the first quarter.
When things were going well, you mentioned moving the ball. What'd you see from Denny and his playmaking tonight?
I thought he was solid, especially early. I think that's another strength that we've seen him display, especially in pick and rolls, but in the open floor. I think he's got a good feel. He can pass, play make, and he's showing a more consistent level of finishing in the paint.
Josh.
Coach, on the offensive end, why did you sense that your team seemed to launch a lot of threes early in the clock and lost really some of the ball movement and the cohesion it showed in the first 18 to 20 minutes of the game?
That's a good question, Josh. I mean, it's a question that I'm continuing to answer. We've seen this from time and time again. We have to find ways to sustain success. And we tend to go away from it at times unnecessarily. It's not a change in the defense. It's not a change in what our opponents are taking us out of. I think at times we just get bored with it. And that's where you have to have the mental fortitude to keep plugging away, doing the right things.
Thank you.
Last question, Neil.
Hey, Coach. A lot of this season, you've preached that, guys are playing hard. It's not necessarily an effort thing. Do you think, in this game, you can say the same thing, or do you have to go back and, tell guys, this is unacceptable? Or
Well, there's some coverage things that, there's some mistakes that are unacceptable. Overall, I would say, yeah, the effort was solid, but you have too many mistakes. You could be playing hard and still, it's not good enough. Too many miscommunications. Too many blown possessions. I think especially into the second, into the third, and those things compound themselves. So we have to be able to not only continue to play at a high level with our effort, but also we got to focus and continue to play the right way.
thanks, Coach. Safe travels back.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Tonight's primary issues is primarily defensive or on the offensive end?
I would say a little bit of both. But we game plan was we knew eventually it was going to become a one-on-one game where they like the ISO, and play one-on-one a lot. So we knew down the stretch they was going to come to that. But I mean, Christian Wood is a great player, but I mean, I don't think we showed any aggressiveness toward him when he was going on that run. And I think we just let him line it up the whole time. And that's been like one of the bigger problems that we've been having. Like, we don't take pride in our one-on-one matchups, and guarding our yard. Then on the offensive end, it's just, I don't know. I feel like possessions after possession, like we be lost, or like we don't know what's going on, or like half of the players don't know the play call, or somebody running something and somebody running the other. Like it's a lot that goes on out there, and it's confusing. It's hard, but at the end of the day, we all professionals, and this is our job. We got to be able to come out, and put it together, no matter what's going on.
Who's after the Knicks game talked about spending the rest of the season building winning habits? You guys have a lot of veterans on the team, obviously. It does come down to things like one-on-one matchups. Like, what is stopping that progress in terms of building winning habits as the season goes on?
I don't feel like nothing is stopping it. I mean, I feel like we just gotta, take it to heart. All right, my man's, I gotta, be able to stay in front of my man and not really allow him to get past me, or be like out of help as much. I would say, I feel like we don't guard our players one-on-one as good as we should, and then our help side is a little bit late or they early, it's a lot that goes on defensive wise, but to try to bring a winning culture over here, like everybody has to be like on the same page. Everybody has to know their role, know what's going on the court, and just play today, play their game to the best of their abilities. But I mean, I feel like we do a lot of one-on-one things, which we don't have the team right now for that. We have to play together, and that's how we're going to win more games. playing together and becoming a unit out there.
Wes brought up the Clippers loss from earlier this season. How do you compare these two? Either how happened or how you're feeling after?
I mean, so it was up 12 at half. I mean, and then they came out and went on 11, overrun, I want to say 11, whatever it was. And it just went from there, They had the momentum and we couldn't get stops. That was a big thing for us. While we couldn't get stops when we needed them. And I would say comparing it to the Clipper games, pretty much I would say the same. We had the lead, going into the fourth or both games, I would say. And we just got lazy, I would say. We started like letting them get whatever they want. And I think we didn't have enough pride out there to go get the win. I think our biggest thing is we worry about the offense a little too much.
Rui had his second start today. How did you think the way he played there?
He played well. Rui's always, been that type of scorer. And we need that from him. And also a solid defender. Could be a little better. He can guard his yard. But Rui's been great for us all season since he's been back.
As a leader who's also kind of a quiet leader, how do you go about approaching talking to guys after this?
Individually, just to see, what they was thinking, what could we done better, just talking about the game, whatever's on their mind, I'll sit there and listen, and then just, give my opinion, and we just having conversations. Pretty much like just try to talk to each person individual, or if we're talking amongst each other, just to talk, and see what's going on, see what we can do better. Everybody has a platform where they can say whatever they want, for the team, what can we do better. And I think that's been good for us. Just been able to have that dialogue within each other.
All right, last question, Anil.
Hey, KCP, when you say lazy, I guess what is the way that you try and just root that out and, just make sure that it doesn't become a reoccurring habit as it, sometimes has plagued you guys this season?
I mean, I'm not saying we are lazy out there. I was just saying, as far as defensive wise, it's not as much effort, that we should give. We show it at times where, they're helping each other. We getting back to our man, we guarding one-on-one, we rebound and get out and push it. We show it at times, but it has to be consistent. I think that's one thing that we lacking is the consistency on offensive and defensive.
Thanks, KCP. Safe travels back.
Thank y'all.
Appreciate it.
A lot like that's never one thing, but do you think the issues came more from the offensive or the defensive side of the ball?
Good question. I don't know. I would have to watch the game and just see, but it's just kind of second half started going downhill a little bit, and they took the momentum. Wood played incredible, hit I don't know how many threes, and really got hot in the second half. It was hard to stop him. And offensively things just weren't clicking as well as they were in the first half for us. So yeah, tough loss.
Wes has been talking a lot about after losses, you guys letting people do things they're good at. Is that a kind of breakdown between the scouting report or how do you view that kind of issue?
I don't know. At the end, even though their record might not be the best, they're still an NBA team, and once they got going, it was hard to stop them. They were all making shots, played really well offensively. Tough second half for us, what can I say? we just let this one just get out of our hands. And at the end, they're a young athletic group, played with a lot of energy, got the crowd into it, and boom, and that was it. They just kept building that momentum and that lead.
Every time you guys have a good win, you'll come out and say, I feel like we can build off of this. What do you feel like is stopping that progress from happening?
I don't know. I think we have to stay together as a team, stay together as a group. Guys who have been in the league for longer, there's always ups and downs. And at the end, it's just the team that sticks to what you need to do, that stays disciplined, that does all the small details right. Those are the teams that at the end are building and heading in the right direction. What you can't do is just after a bad loss, everybody go their way. Oh, this is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. That's not the way to build a successful team. So I think just staying together right now is key for us, and having fun. We have to have fun. We have to go out there and play with the energy and share the ball, and then things will correct themselves. Tight game, Minnesota against Dallas. Yeah. Dallas up 4, fourth quarter, minute left. Yeah.
You and Rick had some really good passing games in the first half, especially. How do you feel like you're building your chemistry with him?
Yeah, no, Rui is really talented. He has really good things in his game. I think next step for him is reading the game better. And not only he's an offensive threat, and he has a really good body and knows how to use it. And then the next step I think for him is also to find more situations where he can be aggressive, where he can create for his teammates, or because he's playing well and shooting the ball well, now he can get his teammate an open look, things like that. I think that will be the next step for him. But so far what I've seen from him is really good.
Was it hard to make the defensive adjustment on Christian, being the fact that he is a player who likes to drive to the basket a lot, but he just got hot from 3-point range?
Yeah, no, he's good everywhere. I mean, you guys know he's good. He's good. He's a good player. Has the outside shot, has the length, has the athleticism, and he's one of those guys that can get going, and then it's hard to stop him. Tonight for him was one of those nights. And then I don't know. I haven't even checked the stats for them and stuff what they did, but he definitely had a huge game, a huge impact on his game. Cool.
We'll go to Zoom, Chase.
AP, what was it like, during timeouts in the huddle is you guys are up 23 and then just that huge swing as you guys try to stop it and turn the game around?
The main thing I think we were trying to translate to each other or transmit to each other was just staying calm, now we're not going to get the momentum back or get the lead back with one possession. It has to be slow, and it's just we weren't able to find that turning point. I try to get that technical foul on purpose to kind of stop their maybe momentum in a way and kind of give us some energy. Don't think I'm a hothead. I did it on purpose. I thought there was it was a basket and just reacted. But yeah, even after that, we kind of just couldn't get our energy and our game at the level that we wanted to. Yeah, that's it. On to the next one.
And there were a few plays in the first half where you were set up by Denny Abdia, kind of running the floor. What have you made of his playmaking and his ability with the ball in his hands so far?
Yeah, he has really good instincts for finding his teammates, pushing the ball in transition. He's not afraid to make a play. I really like that about him. And yeah, he's real good. He's real sneaky with those passes. He was just kind of driving to the rim, and he knew I was there, and then boom, he just threw it back to me without looking. So he's that was pretty cool from him, and I expect more of those plays as he keeps building his game up.
All right, that's all the time we have for KP tonight. Appreciate you.
Thank you, guys. Thanks.